Ever since I turned 18, I have been in love with basketball. But that hasn't always been the case. Before, I used to hate team sports. My dad, being the Turkish guy he is, wanted me to go play football and be amazing at it. The problem was, I just didn't get it. I didn't understand what was so great about being around other sweaty dudes chasing after a ball. Besides, I got absolutely terrified whenever the ball approached me at high speeds. During my childhood, I tried out soccer, judo, dancing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, even MMA. I gave a shot to it all. And while I did enjoy my time with some of them, I struggled with understanding what was so great about them. So, what changed, you might ask? I'll tell you what changed. One day I got gifted this magical game called NBA2k, and let me tell you, it was cash. I don't know exactly what happened, but as soon as I got even good-ish at the game of basketball just started to call to me. Now, years later, I find myself being a die-hard Raptors fan. Of course, because they drafted me first in the video game. I have spent multiple thousands of hours in 2Ks across my life, and I even coach and play for a very middling but fun basketball team. With the FIBA World Cup coming to an end and 2K24 releasing, I thought this would be a great time to say goodbye to 2K23 and welcome on in 2K24 with my opinions and thoughts. Now bear in mind, as much as I love basketball, I have a serious love-hate relation with 2K. So for today I will be going through the good, the bad, and my hopes for the future within the game. And because we all could use some positivity in our life, let's start with the good. Unironically, the WNBA has been one of the best additions to 2K, especially the WNBA My Career. The fact that you can choose an archetype that is already high overall and you can level it up to 99 just feels great. It is great to play a game mode that doesn't require me to grind or use a lot of my money. WNBA is also way closer to realistic basketball that you would find out there in the real world, compared to the arcade type gaming that we get in the regular 2K. Another game mode that I spent most time with this year was My NBA. In My NBA, what you basically are is a GM who decides on the franchise's future. You can choose to be any team from the 30 teams, or you can make yourself an expansion team. And you basically draft out players and play the games. The thing that I liked again was the realism with it. You cannot just build a super team with amazing contracts. You gotta pick and choose. There were also fantasy elements in My NBA, for example being able to play a historical team. For me personally, I love playing the what if games. For example, what would happen if the Detroit Pistons chose Carmelo Anthony or Chris Bosh or Dwayne Wade instead of Darko? The third thing that I really enjoyed was the soundtrack. I mean, 2K always does well with the soundtrack, but this one was full of bangers too, so good job. For 2K23, the gameplay for Play Now felt pretty freaking good. Being able to boot up a game quickly and play a few matches with the boys was well executed. I didn't feel like any one playstyle was OP, and you could really see the different types of gamers within the game mode. Sure, there might have been some cheesy tactics, but they didn't really bother me on this year's installation. Moving on to My Career. The My Career story was very cheesy, but I kinda enjoyed it. The fact that you could be dropping 30p on a game just so Kendrick Perkins can say that your scrub and Shep Ovens is better? I don't know man, I just found it hilarious. One thing that I was really happy stayed from 2K22 to 2K23 is the addition of a randoms queue for 3-on-3 basketball. In this year's iteration you can hop on a theater in the city and queue up for a game with 5 other random players. The thing that made theater great was the fact that you wouldn't have to worry about going against sweaty 3 stacks of 2K professionals. I do wish the game mode was a bit smoother to get into, but hey, can't have it all. Now on to the things that, nicely said, could use some improvement. First of all, and this is the most obvious to anybody who has been playing 2K for a while, the monetization is absolutely terrible. Not only do you have to pay $60 for the game, but you have to spend another additional $100 to get your character to 99 overall. And to make matters even worse, they are going to be introducing a Game Pass element into 2K. The premium version costs $20, and you'll have to buy it multiple times during the life cycle of the game. Now this is most egregious one, but I do understand that there might not be anything that we as a community can do about it. Another thing that really irked me this year was that in my career you had to do so much little stuff. I don't want to sell hot dogs before starting a My Career game. I came here to play basketball, not sell magazines. I came here to play basketball, not do skating. I came here to play basketball, not to talk to any game show hosts. Now don't get me wrong, for My Career it's all fine and dandy to have these things as side quests. But to make me do it just so that I can continue playing the game? Nah, 2K, you wild for that one. Another thing that has made me play 2K way less is that there is no solo queue or ranked system for Rec Center. Rec Center being the perennial 5 vs 5 experience that you go and play against 9 other people online. What happens in these game modes is that you will find people stacking up as 5 and they will go and play against randoms. Not only will they play against randoms, they will also have sophisticated gameplay styles. Like they will trap your ass in the half court should they so wish. Now I do know that 2K made Pro-Am for these types of people who want to play actual organized basketball. But the problem is that they're not good enough for that. Or they feel that they don't want to sweat too much. Which is hilarious because then they go and sweat to public games. Now I know I sound like a whiny old head. But is it too much for me to ask that after a hard days of work, I go and play against people similar skill to mine? Another thing that I find as a con, but I do know is a style decision, is that current 2K meta is very much geared towards streamers and 2K talking heads. It doesn't really feel like there's fundamentals in the online game anymore. It's mostly just these ISO heavy guards draining trees while having bigs pick up the garbage and defending. So with all this said, what are my hopes for the future? Well, if it has to be summed up in a sentence, I want a proper matchmaking and I want to go through that matchmaking through a menu system. It's fine to have all this city thing, it's fine to have all these side quests, but I just want a quick and easy way to go and play basketball. If I could have another wish, it would be for 2K to decide which way they want to go. Right now, they are constantly balancing between realism and simulation basketball. 2K doesn't know if they want to be a super realistic game or if they just want to make NBA Jam again. If 2K wants to be a arcade sim online, they could let us play a realistic NBA career offline. Just separate the modes. They could also fire Ronnie 2K, but hey, who am I to say? Just kidding, but not really. So, with all these problems, will I still buy the next one? Yes, of course I will. I love basketball. I wish I could be out there right now playing the real deal every day. But because of my lack of verticality and the gold finish winter nights, sometimes I just gotta deal with the console version. I know 2K will probably never tone down on the monetization aspects, so that's why we focused on the things that the devs can figure out instead of the marketing team. If you stayed this long, I would totally appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe. I have a lot of things that I want to talk about basketball-wise, and I love making videos for you guys, so any support helps. The only thing that I wish I could have talked about today was the hype cycle that is coming with the new NBA, but we'll let that go for another day. My name is VibinMikey, and I will see you next time.